Hi everyone, Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com, DevOps TV, here at DevOps Enterprise Summit 2017 in San Francisco. My guest for this episode, or for this interview, is none other than Rob England, IT Skeptic, coming at us all the way from Wellington, New Zealand.
I am.
Down under in Oz.
Hey Alan, how are you?
Rob, it's a pleasure to have you on here again as our guest. Another DevOps Enterprise Summit.
Yeah, another one.
Another one, and well, actually, the last time I saw you was probably the one in London.
Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
the DevOps Enterprise Summit London. That was last June. So you're here presenting again on a similar topic to London.
Yeah, speaking about surviving DevOps and getting everybody through intact or off the bus gracefully, but nobody under the bus is the principle.
You try. We try.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Yeah, well, at least we help them gently off the bus. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Rob, people out here listening or watching this may not recognize you or your particular involvement in the DevOps community, but your moniker, the IT Skeptic, does not come lightly.
No,
right? Not for without due reason.
Yeah, so the blog's 12 years old.
Yes.
And taking a skeptical view of IT. So when Agile, from the beginning, I was quite skeptical about Agile, being an old school IT guy. And then when DevOps came along, whoa, that really set me off. And so it was a very skeptical view initially, but I credit John Willis with wearing me down, and Jez Humble with finally tumbling me over with the anti-fragile concept that he introduced in a blog post. And I sort of had this revelation, and now I'm a bit of a DevOps fanboy, to be honest. Grew my hair especially.
I see that. I see that. You're the DevOps hippie.
I'm the DevOps hippie in Wellington now.
Yeah. So, Rob, one of the things we were speaking off camera about was this whole kind of idea around, old is new, or nothing ever, in IT, it seems nothing dies. We just recycle it. And so the whole ITSM connection to DevOps, right? And part of that, before we even get into it, is just a little, I hadn't seen you winning a bet by Kairu Kamar.
Oh, yeah. So I'm pretty sure the Kaima, you're not here. And so we had a thing going around going to every single DevOps Enterprise Summit. And so here I am.
Tag, you're it. So,
hoping I might see Kaimar in London next year.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure I know he's no longer with Axlos.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly
He's
sure.
around, so.
We'll talk off camera about it, but always looking for a little DevOps gossip. But no, let's get back to ITSM though. So, look, Rob, we're both not spring chickens. We've been on our share of tuna boats. Pendulum swing. What's in is out, what's out, it's in. We're outsourcing, we're insourcing. And certainly there it seemed for a while that ITSM was going the way of the dodo.
There was a bit of ding dong, the wicked idol is dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, as someone once said, rumors of its death was greatly exaggerated or premature.
Yeah.
So what is happening with ITSM and DevOps?
Well, I think it's interesting to see. I saw it through the last year or so. I used to do a presentation, What About Run? Because it's always been my sense that DevOps is focused on the require to deploy value stream. And even though it talks about automated operations and certain aspects of running, I think the whole idea of what we service management people would have, my dirty secret, would have called the end-to-end service, it just didn't have that focus. The idea, so I've seen it at clients that you get really good at dropping product, but if you don't run a good network and desktop and multifunction devices and stuff, then the end user, especially in a large government context, the staff member isn't seeing the value if it's not working at their desk, right? So the whole end-to-end service is a different issue. And I always had the sense that was kind of lost in a lot of the DevOps talk. And so lately, I think we're seeing a resurgence of everything from Google SRE, right? So I'm halfway through the Site Reliability Engineering book, which is an amazing read. But on page 26, they go back to first principles and they say, what's the primary metric of site reliability? Oh, let's figure out it's unplanned downtime. And so all the service management people are like, well, duh, so they're sort of rediscovering the knowledge of the service management community, and we're seeing a lot of discussion at this conference around what's incident management, and what does it mean in the DevOps world, and rediscovering all that kind of thing. And Scott Prue did a great presentation this morning.
Yes, I interviewed him.
Yeah, about change and understanding the crossover between DevOps change and service management change.
It was Scott and another woman from his organization.
Yes.
We just interviewed them this morning. So, what's fascinating, Rob, is, and I always tell people, what do you need to know about DevOps? What do you need to know? Well, the first thing is, don't leave your common sense at the door, and don't forget what you've already learned. And yet, when we introduce, I'm not saying ITSM was a panacea, far from it, or perfect, far from it.
I'll tell you something. At a certain large ITSM conference earlier this year, I got up in front of a couple of audiences and I said that the difference from many years working in ITIL is the difference between DevOps and ITIL is that DevOps works. and
they will throw rocks at you.
You could hear the ripple go around the room.
Yeah, they're hissing. And
I had to unpack that a little bit after I said it.
I'm sure you did.
To get out alive.
But seriously, it's not all bad. Nothing's all good and nothing's all bad.
Exactly.
There are some good things in there that, the shame of it is we have to relearn those things now instead of just kind of incorporating those good,
baby and bathwater.
Yeah. But it also goes to revolution and evolution, right? As we evolve, we should take the best, the good from things that have come before and build on them.
And there have been, like Gene Kim's been active all the way through and saying, don't throw ITSM out. This has value. It has a seat at the table.
Gene's been in that space, and truth be told, I think he was doing work in that space when he uncovered the whole sort of DevOps.
Well,
thing.
The Visible Ops Handbook was a classic in the service management world, and with the same he got the band back together to do the Phoenix project.
Exactly. And I think that's what we're seeing. Where do you think that goes, Rob?
In the future? I think we'll see more and more convergence, crossover. I think there's a huge amount of value to come from applying DevOps principles to service management practices. So, yes, shedding a whole lot of the bureaucracy and the rigidity and doing agile service management, right, which is a thing. And a lot of people don't realize, but bringing these agile principles to bear on how do you do service management. And how do you improve your service management? Do it in an agile way, iterative, incremental process change. No more binder droppers. Here's your 3 binders full of new change process. And just some really transformational principles around swarming instead of tiered support and so on and so on. I think there's a lot we can learn from the agile community to transform the way we do service management. But at the same time, there is this huge body of knowledge in service management to inform.
That we could take, I'm not saying pick through the bones, but
as we scale up, right?
Absolutely.
I understand if you're a team of 5 people building a website to do dog psychiatry, then sure you're going to
don't knock those dog psychiatrists.
then sure you answer the phone to your end users on the dev team, but the moment you scale up, then this whole idea of build teams doing their own support is. Suddenly we're back to old school service desks and old school triage
But if it works, don't break it too. There's some of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Rob, we don't have a lot of time, but I want to ask one more question of you. And that's there's a lot of people out here who say to themselves, I'd like to have my own business. I wish I could start my own business. And look, I've done it, you've done it, and I get asked this question a lot. I'm not sure if you do, but for someone out here thinking, man, I'd like to do what he does. What advice can you give people? How did you start your own thing here?
It's easy and it's hard. So yeah, it's easy. You just get up and walk away.
Right.
But then it gets hard, and I think being prepared to put a few hard years in, and networking the heck out of it.
Yeah.
So it's all about contacts and networks. I wouldn't want to move to a new city and start. Because I do think most people leverage their existing contacts to build business, and then you've got to have a value. You have to know something better than most people or do something better than most people, in order to succeed.
And if they do it.
Do it. I've several times when things got rough financially, I thought about going back in from the cold, and I could never go back to working for someone else again.
I don't think I could either. That's the issue. All right, Rob England, IT Skeptic, DevOps expert.
Thanks, Alan.
Thanks for being here today. This is Alan Schimmel from DevOps.com, DevOps TV. Have a great day, everyone.